I'm not sure about you, but I still have a hard time defining DevOps or SRE. Is it a culture? Is it a role? Way of working? What about platform engineering? Where does it sit? Till today, the clarity around DevOps and SRE definitions still escape us, and this makes every DevOps or SRE conversation a little bit confusing. To keep this talk as clear as possible, allow me please to start my session by sharing my definition of platform engineering. Platform engineering is a social technical set of practices that prioritizes experience over tool selection freedom to better serve the whole organization. In my mind, the platform engineering is about experiences, not about tooling, and it's about serving more than one single stakeholders, which most often is framed as just software engineering. My name is Sergiu Petean. I'm the Director of Cloud and Operation at Allianz Direct. I'm also an active member of CNCF, where I held till recently the position of End-User Technical Advisory Board member, leading the Reference Architecture Working Group. In the session I'm going to have today, I'm going to be talking about Allianz Direct's 4 years evolutionary journey towards platform engineering. During all these years, we had to address complex challenges to rebuild and build again and again our internal and external identity, to never stop challenging our internal and external stack and stakeholders relations, and to never stop challenging and changing our tech stack, processes, and architecture. We embraced change from the very beginning, and we were very successful in doing so. We always measure the impact of our work against industry standards. Success amplifies impact. We started impacting a small team of engineers, but ended up influencing the whole Allianz group. Let's dive into the journey. In February 21, when I started a new career chapter, I inherited a great team with lots of ideas and a very strong technical foundation. Things were present good, but not quite future-proof good. Few cracks were demanding for improvements. The team did not have a clear identity. Even worse, it has several internal and external ones. We were called infrastructure team, SRE team, enabling team. We even had a turtle kind of name. It was extremely confusing for us and for the others. The team was heavily relying on externals. We had amazing external engineers, but the short engagement cycle weakened both the team spirit and the knowledge building. Third, our tech stack was vague and volatile. We had to actually discover our tooling and processes. Fourth, we didn't know our stakeholders nor the weight they have on our backlog. With these findings, I triggered a few immediate actions. First, I built a lasting internal team capable of growing a single entity and identity and building a future-proof platform. I call this the innovation sovereignty, and I like speaking about this concept a lot, so please follow my other conversation where I'm diving deep into details of innovation sovereignty. Second, we wanted to find all the stakeholders and somehow measure the weight they are having or will be having on our backlog. This was quite a surprising journey because we found some stakeholders that normally you don't really start thinking of from the beginning. Third, define the guiding principles behind our mission, and of course, have our mission really strong, encapsulated in our journey. Build a future-proof platform and enable teams to deploy, monitor, and maintain their own production environments. Please remember, we are in 21, before platform engineering was really a thing. Once we had clarity and an identity, a mission, a way of working, and we knew exactly which are our stakeholders, we decided to now finally start focusing on the technology stack. We discovered and painted the current state and the future state, and we started building our product, a self-service platform. We were finally ready to build, but navigating the rich and complex cloud-native world was not an easy task. We decided to get a companion, we embraced the open source cloud-native stack, and we became CNCF member. Looking back, this was a key movement for us as we found the clarity and honesty that allowed us to avoid deadly mistakes. After 6 months of planning and discovering and rediscovering things that were considered known, it was time for us to prove our value. And we went big. We addressed the most painful problem, and we addressed it during a critical release moment, going live in one of the new markets. We redesigned completely our software release stack, our CI/CD, and processes. We migrated more than 200 Jenkins jobs out of an infra that we didn't control. It was a huge success. Not perfect, not easy, but it cemented our identity and credibility. I mentioned we did great, not because we felt like that. We measured our impact and we compare ourselves not just internally inside the group and not just with the insurance industry, but with the whole technology realm. We use a well-known framework, the Torah metrics, for that. We are among the top 11 elite performers. We release on demand multiple times a day, and we fail rarely. And when we do, we recover very fast. This marriage of speed, responsiveness, and quality allows us to meet the demands of our clients and stakeholders. There is always a price, especially for being fast and reliable at the same time. The cost needs to fit with the good and the goal and the size of your organization. Not everyone can or should afford the same level of reliability and speed. We created, therefore, a new KPI. We call it financial performance, and we are now capable of steering the cost of a change. This is quite powerful, as once again we balance the interests of multiple stakeholders. Next, we partner with another stakeholder, the security team, and we embedded security in the design of our CI/CD. We shifted left, but we did it in a smart way. We eliminated 99% of the false positive vulnerabilities by building our security intelligence. The results were impressive. Our security posture was at its peak. It makes sense to pause for a second and look at some of the findings we discovered earlier in our journey. First of all, I cannot emphasize enough how important the first hirings are. This is where you're going to set the course for the work ethics, for the culture, for the growth, and for the evolution of your team. Second, drive the innovation sovereignty. Find the right balance between internal talent and external support. Externals, in our case, are the best carriers of innovation and tech growth. Third, build and manage a team identity, both internally and externally. Make sure you are framed as a product team, not as an operation team, which means a cost center. And make sure you keep an eye on the identity because it tends to go sideways. Good. Doubling down on our success with the software engineering and with the security, we continue evolving our platform and make sure that the rest of our stakeholders are being represented. We therefore started talking to the QA department, with business, finance, compliance, architecture, and we implemented what we call an SRE for the whole organization. Our stack and processes were not ready, so we had to renew again. Our knowledge and culture was young. We therefore needed to make some investment, and we did that for the following 6 months. It was the hardest part of all, but definitely was worth it. Our internal topology needed to keep up with the new realities, so we adapted again, and we built a new DDO. It comes from Distributed DevOps. It's a group focused on SRE that had to take the lead and recruit influencers. I did not mention this, but the organization scaled significantly during these years. We were already on 4 markets. The only way to sustain this level of growth with the current team was by federating the SRE. We started the marketing campaign, we focused on self-service, and of course we created great documentation. We redefined the very popular DevOps motto, you build it, you run it, into you build it, you run it, but not alone. The SRE chapter took us 8 months. It was not an easy journey. We had to go through a cultural change, and that's always the hardest things you can accomplish. But also it's one of the most rewarded ones. Right now, today, we have our stakeholders capable of writing and reacting to SRE signals, and they dedicate 20% of the time on the SRE. The IT operational posture is continuously improving. The organization scaling accelerated and added more complexity to our work, to the point where the cognitive load was unmanageable for most of the team members, especially for the newcomers. Our internal topology needed to keep up again with that. And therefore, we rebuilt the platform engineering team around DDoS, distributed DevOps, by using the reverse conway maneuver. We reflected our platform structure in the team structure and communication. To avoid silos and to keep the product mindset, we define the team targets around the final goal. Every single member has to be able to get the platform holistic view. We measure, of course, our success. This time we look at the business operational impact. And we managed to become, in a very short term, influencers in the organizational OKRs. It makes again sense to pause for a moment and talk about the invaluable lessons we're collecting during this journey. First of all, you have to build and maintain technology stack, reference architecture, roadmap for present and future. You have to know where you are, you have to know where you get, and ideally, your backlog will reflect that. Second, handle complexity by breaking it into smaller and more granular tech domains, while designing anti-silo measures and keeping the holistic view. Focus on domain level knowledge, growth, and full stack exposure. Make it your growth targets. Federate DevOps close to your stakeholders to handle scaling. And the most important one, engage with stakeholders and measure the value you are creating for them. Success definitely amplifies impact. Our platform is today a reference for the group. We are building group standards. We are building more platform for various business needs. And we are continuing evolving. We never stopped redesigning our stack, adapting our topologies, nor the processes. And of course, we continuously measure the impact we are bringing, and we are distilling and sharing the lessons we are collecting. Building a platform engineering is beautiful but long and sometimes dangerous journey. The good news is that it is getting less risky to find your way. There are always more paths and more recipes for success. With my role at CNCF, I worked on building golden paths or reference architectures. These are failure-proof recipes for successful cloud-native journeys. We are looking to building catalogs of successful patterns, tooling and processes, but also to identify avoidable common mistakes. What is your path? I would really be happy to find out more about the challenges you face and the golden path you decided to build. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed our conversation.